receiving their results. The school achieved a 100% pass rate and all 41 students plan to further their studies. The students say the support of their family and friends got them through the year. They also offered some advice.
I'd probably say that perseverance is key, and also just talk to your fellow peers because they're feeling the exact same, and have fun, enjoy it. It goes by in a flash.
My parents, my friends, they help motivate me to get my marks. They've helped to push me when I'm struggling. So having them around has been the best thing and have contributed a lot to me getting my marks.
I'm very excited. We've worked hard throughout the year, so I'm pleased with the results that I got.
Meanwhile, at midnight tonight, over 790,000 pupils who sat for the National Senior Certificate exams will receive their results. This evening, the national and provincial pass rate will be announced by Basic Education Minister Angie Motshekga.
After 12 years of schooling, the hour of truth for the class of 2018. The country will find out if last year's grade 12s have managed to improve the 75.1% pass rate from the previous year. The pass rate has fluctuated over the last 5 years, moving from 78.2% in 2013 and dropping to 70.7% in 2015. 2018 saw over 790,000 candidates sit for the 2018 National Senior Certificate examinations. While the exams were largely incident-free, an Ekurhuleni principal was relieved from his duties as a chief invigilator following allegations that he gave an answer sheet to learners who were writing the geography paper 1. Learners from parts of the northwest had to be taken to a catch-up camp after 4 months of violent protests in the province. The much sought-after provincial top spot will also be revealed. Gauteng, Western Cape and the Free State all claimed first place in the last 5 years. All eyes will be on the worst performing province, the 70% threshold still evading the Eastern Cape.
It's interesting surprises. I think it's based on the fact that everyone worked hard. That would be the surprise. You'd see, when everyone is racing at a fast pace, even if you are at 120 kilometers, someone would have done better to still overtake you, even though you are performing at your highest. So it's that type of phenomenon that we are seeing emerging from the class of 28.
Results will be available from midnight on Thursday. Mahlako Komane, SABC News, Johannesburg.
Basic Education Minister Angie Motshekga will announce the National Senior Certificate pass rate at 6 p.m. tonight. Our reporter Mahlako Komane is there at the venue in Midrand. She joins us now. Good afternoon, Mahlako. What's the atmosphere like ahead of the announcement? Mahlako? Okay, we'll come back to that.
On SABC 1, it will be live as well as on SABC News Online and SABC News Channel on DSTV 401. I have with myself, we know it's been quite an interesting journey for SGBs, people that are involved, that relationship where parents find themselves, parents choose and elect to be involved in the running of the schools that their children go to, as well as the education that their children are receiving at those particular schools. I am joined right now by, I have a guest, Paul Kozes, and he is the CEO of FETSIS, and they are a body that deals with SGBs. Thank you so much, Paul, for joining us today. Are you happy? Let's just get into it. Are you happy with what you've heard in terms of how the 2018 grade 12 examinations were conducted?
Yes, indeed. Absolutely. We're quite happy with how it went. There have been very small problems, which you will expect in a large system where almost 800,000 learners sit down to write the exam. But overall, it's been an exam that has run very smoothly. Everything went perfect as far as we're concerned.
And obviously, there's been that debate that speaks to the issue of, the passes, and also how this translates, how various schools bring out different passes. And earlier you were just telling me about how you're seeing that as SGBs, as a body that runs and has SGBs under them, that socioeconomic factors also play quite the part in how results, in which directions results go.
Absolutely. Socioeconomic circumstances of communities have a huge influence on the effective running of the school, and obviously then also the performance of the school, because these socioeconomic problems translate to disciplinary problems in the school, lack of parental support to learners in the school, lack of proper discipline at home and support at home. Makes the running of the school very difficult, and obviously that would also have a negative impact on the performance of the learners in the school, because the whole school system is suffering.
And also, we know particularly in Gauteng, there have been calls to curb. You have had that back and forth with the MEC in the province. Can you just please tell us, is there some sort of talks that are going there? Do you also perhaps believe at FESAS that the SGB powers rather need to be curbed? Is this a call that you believe in? What are your views on that?
No, I mean, we differ very strongly with any curbing of SGB powers. We have public schools in South Africa, and public schools are called public schools because in layman's terms they belong to the public. The public must take responsibility for these schools, and the whole philosophy behind the present education system is that parents, as real stakeholders, must have a say in the running of the school and the governance of the school, not the management of the school, not the process of learning and teaching, but the framework that makes learning and teaching possible. And at your very successful schools, you'll see a direct correlation between parental involvement in the school and the success of the SGB of the school. The success with which the SGB runs the school, performs their functions, that also translate into better performance at the school. So people who are talking about curbing the powers of SGBs are on the completely incorrect track.
Thank you so much, Paul, for that. And Mahendra, yes, that was Paul Colders, obviously speaking about the relationship, coming from a federation of SGBs, speaking about the relationship between parental involvement and the performance of the school. And that is why we're here today, to see how these schools have performed, in terms of grade 12, because that's the exit point of the schooling system, to see how schools have performed and indeed making that relationship between parental involvement in their schools and also the results, and saying that the more parents, where you see parents are more involved, that also translates into the type of results you get from certain schools. It's back to you in studio.
Well, matriculants are currently suffering from extreme levels of anxiety, especially this time of the year, shortly before the release of the matric results. Each year, some matriculants struggle to accept the results. A bad outcome of the matric results can sometimes lead to young people harming themselves. We're now joined in studio by psychologist Jeremy Bayer to discuss coping mechanisms. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us.
Afternoon.
I know, is it true that sometimes the anxiety can arise in a pupil